The situation in Katsina has taken another serious turn, and people are talking everywhere. What we are seeing now is a mix of fear, anger, confusion, and deep concern about security. In many parts of Katsina, residents say armed groups are still moving freely despite all the efforts that have been made in recent years. The story has become even more sensitive because of recent events and statements that many Nigerians believe have changed the balance of power on the ground. According to what people living in affected areas are saying, there was a time when they believed things were improving. Some communities were told that peace talks and agreements would bring calm. For a short while, attacks were reduced in some places, and people began to hope that life would slowly return to normal. But that hope did not last long. So very soon, reports began to surface that some armed groups were no longer respecting those agreements. In fact, in certain areas, residents say the armed groups became more confident and more daring. People started asking questions. How did we get here? Why does it look like criminals are no longer afraid? Why are communities still living in fear after so many promises? These questions are now at the center of discussions across the country. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss updates like this, because this story is still developing and very important. One of the most talked about issues is how the security forces are being perceived by the public. There are claims making the rounds that armed groups openly challenge authority in some locations, creating the impression that they were untouchable. Whether these claims are exaggerated or not, the damage to public confidence is real. Many Nigerians watching from outside Katsina are worried because if such things can happen there, they fear it could happen elsewhere too. The concern grew stronger after certain videos and stories circulated online. These materials were interpreted by many viewers as showing armed individuals appearing comfortable and relaxed in situations where people expected strict security control. Even though explanations were later given, the initial reaction had already spread far and wide. In today's digital age, once people see something and form an opinion, it is very hard to change their minds. This is why perception matters, almost as much as reality. As this conversation continued, attention turned to controversial statements that had been made earlier by individuals involved in peace efforts. Some comments were seen by many Nigerians as too soft, while others believed that they were being misunderstood. The argument is simple but very serious. When you speak publicly about dealing gently with criminals, some people may see it as encouragement, even if that was never the intention. This is where opinions sharply divide. One side believes that dialogue is necessary because force alone has not solved the problem. They argue that talking, negotiating, and addressing root causes can help reduce violence in the long term. Another side strongly disagrees. They believe that dialogue without strong enforcement sends the wrong message and weakens authority. According to them, criminals only understand firm action, and anything less makes the situation worse. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you are following this discussion closely, because your support helps us keep bringing you clear and balanced updates. On the ground, ordinary people are the ones suffering the most. Farmers talk about being afraid to go to their fields. Traders complain that roads are no longer safe, affecting business and daily movement. Parents worry about their children going to school. In some villages, families have packed their belongings and moved to safer towns, leaving behind homes they worked hard to build. These are not just statistics. These are real lives being disrupted every single day. What makes the situation more painful is the feeling of uncertainty. People are not sure what strategy will finally bring lasting peace. They hear different messages from different leaders, and that creates confusion. When messages are not clear and consistent, fear grows. When fear grows, trust reduces. And when trust reduces, cooperation becomes difficult. Another important point people are raising is morale. Many Nigerians respect the security forces and appreciate the sacrifices they make. However, when stories circulate that make it seem like authority is being challenged openly, it affects morale, both for the officers on duty and for citizens watching from afar. Confidence is a powerful tool in security, and once it is shaken, restoring it takes time and clear action. At the same time, there are voices urging the public to be careful and patient. They remind everyone that fighting crime is complex and that not everything can be solved overnight. They warn against rushing to conclusions based on incomplete information. According to them, the focus should be on supporting effective solutions rather than fueling anger that could make things worse. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you value calm, well-explained news and real-time gist like this. As this story continues, one thing is clear. Nigerians want results. They want to see real improvements, not just hear promises. They want to feel safe in their homes, on the roads, and in their communities. They want strategies that work and communication that builds trust, not confusion. The situation in Katsina is now being watched closely across the country. What happens next will likely influence how similar challenges are handled in other regions. That is why this moment is very important. Decisions made now, words spoken now, and actions taken now will shape public confidence for a long time. The discussion continues and the tension around this issue is still very strong. Many Nigerians are now paying close attention, not just to what is happening in Katsina, but to how leaders and security managers are responding. People are listening carefully to every statement, every action, and every silence. In times like these, silence itself can speak loudly. One major concern people keep raising is consistency. Citizens want to see one clear direction. When different messages come from different voices, it creates doubt. Some people begin to wonder who is really in charge and what the real plan is. For security to work well, the message must be simple, firm, and easy for everyone to understand. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel because these conversations matter and your support keeps them going. Many analysts are now saying that the biggest damage is not just physical, but psychological. When communities feel abandoned or confused, fear grows faster than any armed group. Fear makes people lose trust in systems that are meant to protect them. Once that trust is broken, rebuilding it becomes very difficult. This is why communication is just as important as action. People living in affected areas are also speaking out more. Some say they no longer know who to believe. One day they hear that peace has been achieved. The next day they hear about another attack. This back and forth has left many feeling emotionally tired. They want stability. They want to sleep at night without fear. They want their children to grow up without constantly hearing stories of danger. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you believe in asking the right questions and demanding better outcomes.